Okay, so welcome to this video where we're going to look at a question that involves mass, density, and volume. Okay, so the question reads, Tutor Poul, a physics tutor at Kasinjiro Secondary School, did an experiment to find the density of air and he obtained the following results. Okay, so mass of the container was 265.12 grams. Mass of the container plus air was 265.42 grams, and then mass of the container plus water was 515.12 grams, and then they're saying take the density of water to be 1 grams per cubic centimeters. Calculate. The first question there, we are calculating the mass of air. Okay, so how are we going to calculate the mass of this air here? Okay, so I'm going to say mass of the air is simply, okay, mass of the air is simply equals to mass of the container, okay, mass of the container plus air, and then we subtract the mass of the container. Okay, so what is the mass of the container plus air there? Okay, so mass of the container and air we have 265.42. Then we are subtracting this, okay, from the mass of the container, which is 265.12. So 265.12. Okay, then from here just get your calculator and then punch in these values. Okay, should be able to get okay, you should be able to get 0.3 grams. Okay, so this 0.3 grams is the mass of the what? Of the air. Okay, and then the second one here, we look at how to calculate the mass of the what? The water. Okay, so the mass of the water, we are going to follow a similar approach. Okay, so the mass of this air, we found it to be 0.3 grams. And then the mass of the water, okay, we are going to say mass of the water is just equals to mass of the container plus water, and then we subtract the mass of the what? The container. So what is the mass of the water plus the container? We can see here we have 515.12 grams. So I'll put the 515.12 here. Then we are going to subtract the mass of the container, which is 265.12. Okay, so get your calculator and then punch in these values. My calculator is showing 250 grams as my mass of water. Okay, so here mass of water, I'm going to write 250 grams. Okay, and then we can go to the next question. They are saying find the volume of the container. Okay, so how are we going to find this volume of the container here? Okay, so it's very important to note that, okay, the volume of the container is the same as the volume of what? Water. Okay, so what do we know about this water? We have its mass here, and then we also have its density here. So we know that from the formula, density is equals to mass over volume. We can make V the subject of the formula. Okay, so it means our volume will just be equals to mass divided by the density. So we are finding the we're finding the volume of the water, which will be equal to the volume of a container. Because if I have a container here and then I put water there, okay, that water will fill up this container. So the volume of this container is the same as the volume of what? Water. So volume will be equals to, what is the mass of the water? Okay, so mass of the water, we found it was 250 grams from the previous question. Then we divide this by the density. The density we can see is just 1, so we are going to divide by 1 gram per centimeter cubic. Okay, so this is going to be equals to, this gram and this gram will cancel, and then we divide this 250 divided by 1, and then these units here are going to be retained. So the volume will be 250 cubic centimeters, like that. So this is the volume of water. Okay, so the volume of water is the same as the volume of the what? The container. Okay, so we can say the volume of the container is actually equals to 250 cubic what? Centimeters. Okay, so we have 250 there as the volume of the container. So let's clean up this and then we solve the last question. Okay, so on the last question there, so this one here, the volume of the container I found it was 250 cubic centimeters. And then now we are here, the density of air. Okay, so we know that density is actually equals to mass over volume. So what do we know about air? We know that the mass of this air, okay, is what? 0.3 grams. Okay, and then what is the volume of the air? Okay, so the volume of the air is the same as the volume of the container. Okay, and we know that the volume of the container, okay, was just what? 250 cubic centimeters. Okay, so this here will be equal to the volume of the what? The air. So we have the volume of the air and the mass of the air, so we can find this density. So density is going to be equals to 0.3, and then we divide this by the volume, which is 250. Okay, so what will be our density? Okay, so you just get those two values and then you punch them on your calculator. So we have 0.3, and then I'm dividing by 250. So I'm going to get my density as 0.0012 grams per cubic what? Centimeters. So this here is the density, and that's all for this video.